To some more news this evening, a global info analytics poll on Ghana's 2028 presidential race shows Dr. Bawumia is leading the NPP preference for flag bearership with 48%, followed by Kennedy Ejapong at 25%. For the NDC, Nano Pokwajiman tops with 25.6%, trailed by Haruna Idrisu at 18.5% and Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa at 10.2%. Let's go through some details from the polls. Doing this for us is my colleague Martin Isiedu Date at the Magic Wall. Martin, can you tell us what you've been learning?
Right, so Aisha, we are 3 years away from another major election, but a lot of political activities is already happening in the background. So for those who may not be following, maybe you'd want to stay with your election command center. We'll walk you through and keep you very close to the action as much as possible. So Global Info Analytics, and many of you would recall that they more or less predicted accurately the 2024 electoral outcome. Well, recently, or the last 2-3 days, they've done another polling around the country to pick the thoughts of Ghanaians whom they think could lead the two major political parties. So we'll take you through the numbers as Global Info Analytics have been able to put together. The sample size was 8,437. They sampled opinions and views from across the 16 regions of the country, and they had 54% of the respondents being male, 46% being female. To the specifics of the individuals that they put on the paper to ask questions about, the NPP candidates that were front runners were led by Dr. Bawumia. Then Kennedy Ejapong was a close second. There's Dr. Yao Osei Duchum, former Education Minister, Honorable Brian Echampong, former Agric Minister. The list of the NPP potential candidates also had Francis Adainimo being a part, and then Kwabena Ejapong. So these are the candidates of the NPP that were sampled by Global Info Analytics on whom, which of them could lead the party. In the camp of the NDC, however, these are the individuals, and it was quite surprising that the current Vice President of the Republic, Ghana's first female Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Pokwajiman, was in a very comfortable lead. You know, the phrase comfortable lead, it belongs to the NDC. Then there was Asiedu Nketia, there's Joshua Alabi, there's Honorable Julius Deborah, the current Chief of Staff. There is the Finance Minister, Honorable Atuforsen, Haruna Idrisu, the current Education Minister, Mr. Iwadaku, and then Eric Opoku, who is the current Minister for Agric. The NDC list is quite long, and it makes absolute sense why it is so, because the current President, John Dramani Mahama, will not contest again, so it is a free-for-all race, and all these individuals are potential flag bearers of the NDC. Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, Honorable Omane Boama, Minister in charge of Defense, Alex Mould, then the daughter of the founder of the NDC, the Honorable Zaneto Ajiman Rawlings. And the list concludes with two individuals. We have Guzitano and then Honorable Hannah Tete. So those are the individuals that they sampled, thinking that any of them could lead the NDC. Now, if you look at the party affiliation references, per the Global Info Analytics dynamics, they thought that people within the NPP said 57% of them thought that Dr. Bawumia was likely to lead the party again, followed closely by Honorable Kennedy Ejapong. Now, if you come to ask people who are in the NDC about who NDC people thought could lead the NPP, 44% of NDC people think that Dr. Bawumia, the former vice president, should still lead the NPP, and then 26% of NDC respondents think that Honorable Kennedy Ejapong should lead the NPP. Now look at the number difference. 22% of NPP respondents think Kennedy Ejapong should lead them. 26% of NDC respondents think Kennedy Ejapong should lead the NPP. So clearly the numbers favor Dr. Bawumia. Then again, if you come to the camp of the NDC by party reference, 36.7%, roughly 37% of NPP respondents think that Professor Nana Jane, the current vice president, should lead the NDC, whereas 14.1% of NPP respondents think that the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, current Education Minister, should lead the NDC. Now, when you go into the camp of the NDC, by party reference, 19% of them say that Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman should lead the party, whereas 21% think that Honorable Haruna Iddrisu should lead the party. So it looks as though when you crisscross and you ask the opposition party, opposition in this sense, if you ask NDC people who should lead NPP, the numbers are different. If you ask NDC people who should lead NPP, definitely the numbers are different. Now let's take a specific look at what's happening in the camp of the NPP in terms of the numbers that were polled and the percentages that they got. 48% believe Dr. Bawumia should lead them in the next race going into 2028. 25% think that Ken Ejapong should be the flag bearer, or per the rankings, that is how they came out. Yao Osei Educhum, Education Minister Doctor, former, was also a close third with 12.5%, Kwabena Ejapong 7%, and then also you have Brian Echampong getting 4.2%. Now, there's a case here you need to pay attention to, that the last 2 days, a crucial meeting of the creme de la creme of the NPP have been meeting in the Western region, Brian Echampong's hotel. That's where many of the people who lead the NPP, both those in government and those who are former ministers of state from the camp of the NPP. And the middle picture is the famous one that many are talking about and seem to be excited about, saying that it could be a flag bearer and a running mate. But depending on who becomes the flag bearer or the running mate, well, the numbers are telling us a different story. So just have that at the back of your mind as your election command center keeps a close tab on the pulse of the elections in Ghana. In the camp of the NDC, however, 33% are supporting Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. Then Haruna Iddrisu comes a close second. We have the Honorable Atufos and Finance Minister, the Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa coming at having the same number of percentage support like Johnson Esiedu Nketia, the current national chairman of the NDC. So it is unclear whether or not Johnson Esiedu Nketia will actually run, but the names of the individuals we've brought to you are likely to contend for the flag bearer slot of the NDC and the NPP. Your election command center will keep tabs on the polls and keep you posted subsequently.